Hello and welcome to Hump Hangouts 524 on the 27th of November 2024. We are pretty close to Thanksgiving weekend, so if you're celebrating, you probably have like a pretty long and nice weekend ahead of time. I'm currently in Austria. Things are pretty good. Winter is obviously here, and as usual at this time of the year, pretty busy with work. Adam is out running in the mountains from Belleville, and Bradley is live here as well today.
What's up, man? How are you?
Doing good. You?
Right on. Yeah, it's the day before Thanksgiving, so I can't wait to get off. This is the last thing I'm doing today, and then I'm off and I'm going to work in the morning tomorrow for about an hour. Every single morning I work for about an hour at least minimum, just because I get caught up on stuff and it's just there's nothing else to do that early in the morning anyway. So I will work for an hour tomorrow and a couple hours on Friday, but other than that, I'm taking the next 4 days off. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've been counting down the time for the last 3 hours actually. So I'm waiting. As soon as this is over, I'm off. So just so you guys know, I'm not going over tonight. We're stopping at
I still
5 p.m.
needed to answer two questions in Slack.
So,
Yeah,
all
I'll
right.
do same here, man. I'm gonna do like a couple audits and like also take a 2 days off, like well deserved here.
Yeah.
But we're not going to completely disappear. We also have a couple specials here for Black Friday, right the day after Thanksgiving. Anything we can tell people already? Or do they just get everything via email?
Well, they can get everything via email, but I mean, they're going to get everything via email. If you're not on our list, go get subscribed. But we give away free training from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. Because, we wanted to kind of buck the trend. It's like a feeding frenzy. I'm sure you all are aware. It's a feeding frenzy every single Black Friday to Cyber Monday. And I don't want to pile on to the stress. Like you guys are already going to be kind of being bombarded with offers and you got to try to figure out where you're going to spend your money. So we don't want to add to that stress. So instead, we're just going to give you guys free training. It's only available for those 3 days. So make sure you're on the list so that you get the emails or else you'll miss it. Or if you join the mastermind, you'll have access to it because mastermind will have access to it no matter when it is. Um, we did do a sale last week though for the DHA 3-day workshop replays, the recordings. And we did a pre-Black Friday sale for a week, and that ended up being a pretty good promotion. We discounted the price significantly, and that ended up turning out generating quite a bit of revenue and sales, which is good because I wanted to get that in the hands of more people to expose more people to the DHA program. That's essentially why I pitched to my partners here that we sold it for such a steep discount because I'm trying to get the idea into more of you guys that are doing local SEO, getting you into that kind of understanding the concept of doing cold email and why it works and show you how to do it properly. So that's what those recordings are for. So in any case, we're going to be giving out free training. So just be on the list. If you're not, go get signed up. Just go to semanticmastery.com and opt in, and you'll get notified on Friday.
Sounds good. I think we also have like something else coming up on Monday. Am I right?
Yeah, we have the webinar with Simon Daddy about Chameleon. Chameleon mode, I think is what it's called, but it's basically his, browser keeper app or profile keeper app type thing so that you can separate profiles and do all kinds of SEO stuff. There's a lot of browsers out there that do things like that. Session Splitter, um, I think it's multi-login, Logi. There's a bunch of them out there that do that, but Simon's got some really cool features that he's built into it. Remember, Simon and Simon Daddy are from Chameleon mode. It was formerly Browsio. So some of you guys remember Browsio. I used the shit out of that for a long, long time, and I loved it. And I didn't like it when he moved it onto a browser app, which was the Chameleon thing, Chameleon mode. But then over the last year or so, he's done a significant overhaul, and it's way better than it was. And so he demoed it to me a few weeks ago, and it was really, really impressive. So that's why we're bringing it to our audience, and that's on Monday.
Sounds
Yeah.
about right. I also used to shit out of it back in the day.
Yep.
One more thing, make sure if you're watching this video that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel here, because this also helps us and you're also getting all the updated notifications and you're not going to miss any future Hump the Hangouts or any videos that we are releasing up there. Any other announcements that we have?
Not that I'm aware of. Just jump into questions. I got a bunch. And like I said, I want to be out here at 5 p.m. tonight. So Let's
do it.
jump right into it. Jason, what's up, buddy? I did see your comment when I was logging into YouTube to get set up for this Hump Day Hangout. I saw that you commented on that short or whatever. So it's funny, but mentioned one of the shorts that Adam had created from one of the Hump Day Hangout answers or something. It's talking about renting rank and rent sites for $99 a month as opposed to 500 or 1,000 like a lot of the other companies. And apparently, a short was created from that answer to that question. And I guess I'm being an asshole mimicking like, some jerk that trying to rent a site out for $500 a month or whatever. So I saw that and I appreciate your comment, Jason. It's cool to see that you're still following our channel, man. So good to see you, buddy. All right, guys, let me go ahead and jump into the questions. What's up, Craig? I see you got a question I'm going to be answering here in just a moment. So let's grab the screen and get into it. All right, so we're going to start. Yeah, Craig's got one in here somewhere. I could have sworn I saw it. Maybe that was it might have been last week. It probably was last week. So in any case, hey, Craig, how are you, man? So Huzaifa's got a bunch of questions as normal, but that's okay. His questions are good. I did hide one of them because it was questioning about like where I get my link sources, and that's not something I want to talk about on a public setting. In the mastermind, I share exactly how I come up with my link sources, Huzaifa, but I'm not going to answer that in a public setting, just to be clear. But for the rest of them, let me go down the list and get through these. The first one is, what are yext power listings and how do they work and how do they help GBP rank or the organic pages? Well, if you just go do a search for yext power listings in Google, you can go check out their site and then you'll see what are power listings, why power listings, etc. Now, I don't use power listings directly through yext because they make you sign a contract. It's stupid. It's $500 a month per location, or excuse me, $500 per year per location, and they make you sign a contract. And so I know because I used to be a reseller for Yext many years ago, and they would make you sign a contract as a reseller to commit to 10 locations and all that. And anyway, I don't like it. Okay, I don't like using them direct through Yext. However, through SEMrush, if you have a SEMrush account, then you can get Yext power listings through SEMrush with no contract for $20 per month. Full transparency, that's what I resell under Semantic links, are Yext power listings for $34 a month. Yes, I mark it up $14 a month. If anybody has a problem with that, don't buy my Yext power listing service. But I charge $34 a month for it, and all I do is submit them through SEMrush, which I make $14 a month in margin off of that. So why Yext power listings? Well, it's funny that you brought this up, Huzaifa, by the way, because there was a comment on another video that was I saw in our comments up here. Anyway, there was a comment on another video where I was talking about Yext power listings, and the person that commented was like, Yext power listings overcharges, and it's only about 80 citations, and I get much better results with Citation Vault for my local clients. Okay, sure you do. And that's fine. But there's a big difference between Citation Vault and Yext. The difference between Yext is about, if it's a published street address in the United States, you get roughly 65 citations. Why I like Yext is because they're a fairly high number of the high authority business directory listings. So like the big directories that have a lot of authority, big national directories, yes, but they're very authoritative properties. Go look at the authority of the Citation Vault sources, okay? To the person that made that comment, like, it's apples and oranges comparison. It doesn't even make sense to have that type of a conversation because the what we're using power listings for is to put a bunch of really well developed, really well optimized profiles on the high authority directory sites. And it does it all in one fell swoop. Like you've completely optimized the Yext power listings profile. And then that gets synced out to roughly 65 directories. If it's a published street address in the United States, it's roughly 65 directories, higher authority directories. And you get 2 links because you get your website link and then you get what's called a featured message link. In the featured message link, you can set whatever anchor text you want. And on about half of the Yext properties, so half of the directories in the Yext system, even if there are no follow links to the website URL, the featured listing URL is a follow link for about half of them, at least the last time I tested that, which was about 2 years ago. I don't think they've changed it. They may have, but I doubt it. And so you can get follow links from some of these high authority properties, even when the website link listed in the citation is a no follow link. The featured message link becomes a follow link. or is in many cases a follow link. Not all of them, but in about 40 or 50% of them it is. So, and then because it's the high authority listings, business directories, etc., you get more value from those, and then you extract the citation URLs or export them, excuse me, which we provide to our clients. Then you put those in the ID page, right? You put them in the G sheet that goes into the ID page, along with all your other branded assets or any external page URL that has accurate information published about the business, name, address, phone number, website, or some combination of those 4 data points. And that's the reason why we do it, because it is a brand authority builder. Citation Vault doesn't do that. Okay. By the way, I use the hell out of Citation Vault. So I'm not saying that Citation Vault isn't also good to use for local projects. It is not direct to the money site, though. The way that I do it is we link to the ID page. So if you think about it, we're using high authority directory properties that are linking directly to the money site, that then get put embedded into the ID page and the G sheet. So the URLs for all of those high authority directory listings through yext power listings get added to the G sheet, which gets embedded to the ID page. And then the ID page gets hit with Citation Vault links. So that is a much smarter and better way to do it, because Google is fully aware of Citation Vault because it's clearly a footprint. And I'm not picking on it. I think it's a great service for how I use it. I wouldn't use it to link directly to money sites, and I would caution others against doing the same thing. These are high authority business directories that are not going to get you in trouble. In fact, this improves brand strength, brand authority. So that's why we use these as tier 1 citations that link directly to the money site. Okay, because of all the reasons that I just described. So yext power listings is very powerful. I think I used to hate yext, guys. After I was a reseller for a while. I didn't like it. I ended up canceling that whole service with them and reseller agreement and everything. And for years, I would have told everybody not to use yext power listings. But I've come around, because now brand authority is the magic key to local SEO, in my opinion, right now. If you build enough brand authority, you can have problems and several of, you can have deficiencies in many of the other areas that we typically address in a proper SEO campaign, right? There's really 4 components, sometimes more than one part to each component. I always talk about this when I talk about my, or when I'm discussing what I do in local SEO audits, right? There's entity first, which is really a measure of brand strength. When we do entity analysis, what we're doing is determining how well developed is the knowledge graph for a specific branded location. We're analyzing brand strength for a specific branded location. So that's entity analysis number 1. Number 2 is on-page optimization for the self-hosted site. Number 3 is on-page optimization for the GBP. Number 4 is off-page, which includes 2 components, backlinks and engagement signals. So those are kind of the main areas. There's 4 main areas: entity, on-page for the self-hosted site, on-page GBP, and off-page. And those are the 4 main areas that we should be optimizing for local search. And if we build enough brand strength, which is component number 1, right, entity, then we can have deficiencies in those other areas and still perform well. And so that's why I think brand strength is the key, the kind of key to local SEO right now. And so this is a brand strength builder, right? It helps to. So does the ID page. That's why it's a 1-2 punch, right? They work in tandem. It's yext embedded into the ID page, and then the ID page becomes a significant link building target, where you can be a lot more aggressive with link building to an ID page than you would ever should be to your self-hosted money site. And in the ID page, we then reference all of the page URLs, not just yext power listings, which are structured citations, right? We all think as SEOs of citations as business directory listings, and it is true that a business directory listing is a citation. But a citation is much more, or can be many more things than just a business directory listing. A citation is a published mention of the name, address, phone number, and website information for a local business, or any combination of those data points. It's a published mention, period. That is a structured citation is a business directory listing. An unstructured citation is anywhere else those data points are published. Do you understand? And so what I'm saying is we want to use high authority properties when possible and structured citations when possible, especially on high authority properties. But then we can also build citations through published mentions of any 4 of those data points: name, address, phone number, website information. So all of those now, any published mention or citation is an external page URL that has a published mention of those data points. We want to extract any of those page URLs that are indexed in Google and then put them into the ID page and put them into the same as attributes of the local business schema. Link out to them with Google Business Posts from the GBP with the Learn More button from Google Business Posts. Because what are we doing? We're forcing Google, basically, we are virtually forcing Google to pull those data points into the knowledge graph that it's already building for the local business location. Do you understand? I've talked about this on sales calls. Some of you may have heard this before. Some of you probably haven't. But do you understand Google's not very efficient at crawling the billions and billions of page URLs out there to figure out which data points corroborate or validate what they understand about a particular Google business profile, right? Which is, again, remember, the entity validation that we do for local business clients is help get a GBP verified, right? But then Google left to it on its own is going to develop the knowledge graph regardless, whether we help it develop it or not. It's going to go out and develop the knowledge graph, but it's not very efficient at doing it because Google starts to try, as it's crawling the web, it tries to identify page URLs that are reinforce or validate what it understands about that Google business profile and how it is optimized. Essentially, who the business is, what they do, and where they do it. So, again, it's like, let me put it this way: it's like a jigsaw puzzle. If you and I, if you were to go out and buy a jigsaw puzzle at Walmart or whatever, right? You look at the box, you can see what the image is supposed to be once you put all the pieces together. But when you dump that box out onto a table, the puzzle pieces are going to be scattered, and you're going to have to start organizing those pieces and fitting them together properly. And the more pieces you start to fit together, the image, as you start to fit pieces together, the image starts to emerge from that mess, right? The more pieces you organize to get and fit together properly, the clearer or sharper that image becomes. So it's almost like Google is trying to put this puzzle together, and it has to crawl this massive web with all these billions and billions of page URLs to try to find these puzzle pieces that fit together with the GBP and what Google understands about who the business is, what they do, and where they do it. So can't we help Google put that puzzle together a hell of a lot faster? Of course we can. That's our job as local SEOs, right? And so we can help Google very quickly identify the page URLs that are specifically validating the name, address, phone number, website information for a particular Google business profile or branded location. By linking out to it with Google Business Posts to any page URL, right? That's a direct linked connection from the Google Business Profile to page URLs that have data that verifies or validates how the GBP is optimized. Name, address, phone number, website, who the business is, what they do, where they do it. Right? So linking out with GB Posts is a great way to pull data into the knowledge graph. Number two is the same as attributes in the local business schema that should be inserted into the location landing page, which is the URL linked to from the GBP as the website URL, right? So direct linked connection from the GBP to the page on the money site, the self-hosted site that then has local business schema with all of those same as attributes, external page URLs that have accurate information published about the business. And then lastly, in that that local business schema that should be inserted into the location landing page, the @ID field should have a dedicated ID page, right? A dedicated URL that is a reference point for the Google bots and other search engines to go to validate or confirm, corroborate local entity information. So those three things right there is how we can very quickly help Google develop the knowledge graph with proper and appropriate data, so that it has a clearer understanding and more validation, more evidence pulled into the knowledge graph about who the business is, what they do, and where they do it. So yext Power Listings is one of my favorite things to do for local SEO now because it's inexpensive and it helps. It's a authority booster, authority builder, brand builder, so to speak. And like I said, it's a quick and easy way to add some kind of authority to the brand. All right. It's a good question. I appreciate the question. And again, I understand that some people don't like power listings, and I get it too. I didn't for a long time, but now that branding and brand strength is really kind of what I've kind of determined through my own testing is the magic key to local SEO right now. It's a great way to do that very quickly. Okay. Moving on. Does expanding the entity footprint help map pack or organic? It helps. It can help both. Doing that in and of itself might not help, but it's in combination with everything else that we do, yes, that absolutely helps. And that's, again, that's about improving brand authority, creating more assets on the web that validate or corroborate, reinforce name, address, phone number, and website information. All the things that I just mentioned in the previous question, that is precisely why this does help, right? That's why when we talk about, we have a course called, or a training program called Brand Expander. It used to be IFTTT SEO, then it was rebranded to Syndication Academy for many years, and now it's called Brand Expander because we're not really doing the syndication parts of it. And that's because it's not really necessary anymore. Brand Expander is about going out and building branded assets, so extensions of the brand on various platforms, optimizing them, and then interlinking them with other branded assets. That's what the whole training is about because it significantly helps a local business campaign, local SEO campaign over time. It's not something, I mean, I guess if you went and built a whole bunch of the properties all at once, it might help quickly. But what we do is just slow and steady build additional branded and supporting assets for the local business over time. And over time, and every time we add a new profile URL, we add it to the ID page in the G sheet, right? And the same as attributes of the local business schema. We link out to it from a Google business post. All the things that I just described in the previous question, we do that every time we build a new branded asset. We reference it in 3 locations: ID page, same as attributes, link to it from the GB posts, right? That forces Google to recognize that new asset, which is another validation signal. Get it? So that's precisely why it works, okay? Zypha says, how to use cloud platforms to get backlinks other than ID pages? Well, you can use for cloud page links or cloud stacks, which means you can build backlinks from cloud storage buckets. You can also use custom domains. Any one of those cloud hosts got, well, I'm not sure about any one of them, but many of them, you can map custom domains to a page hosted on a cloud storage bucket. And so you can go out and hunt down expired domains with proper topical relevance and proper topical backlinks already flowing into them. And then you can map the custom domain over to a page that is hosted on a cloud storage bucket. And now you're going to benefit from the cloud links that are in the cloud page because I've mapped a custom domain with proper and appropriate and relevant links already flowing into it. So if you go out and hunt down expired domains with the proper topical relevance, then you can use those to then map to cloud pages, and you can benefit from the backlinks that were already built to those. Okay, which is what we do at Semantic Links quite a bit, actually. That's what we call custom rebuilds. Those are cloud pages that we map custom domains to. That's what we call a custom rebuild, and we do those. We sell those as part of our subscription services in Semantic Links. Okay. John Quackenbush, what's up, man? I haven't seen John's name in quite some time. He's been around our industry for a long time, so I'm very familiar. Good to see him posting a question here. He says, "What is the best layout or content for Service City pages? If business offers several services, you do a page for each service for each city?" No, absolutely not. That is inefficient, and that is an old method for local SEO that I highly suggest people not do anymore, because it creates crawl resistance, redundancy, duplication. It lowers the site quality score. Things like that were specifically addressed in the helpful content update. Every product or service times every city, having a separate page for that is completely unnecessary. That is an old and outdated SEO tactic for local SEO, because Google is way smarter than it used to be. It is no longer a keyword-based algorithm. It is an entity-based algorithm. And Google has a large language model fully integrated into the search algorithm. Do you think that we need to hammer Google over the head with keyword plus city for every keyword plus every city within a service area radius? No, we all used to have to do that, and I hated it, but we all did it as local SEOs because that's how we used to get results. We don't need to do that anymore. You only need one page for every service or product and one page for every location in most cases. In some cases, if you have very distinct service categories, it may make sense to make a separate location page for each of the primary service categories. But in most cases, you can get away with one location page and one service page for every service and for every location, and you associate the pages through internal linking so that you don't have to have duplication and redundancy that will hurt the performance of the site now. It does not help. because it's again, it's being the helpful content update addressed that. Why create more? We should be building sites to be efficient for Google to crawl them efficiently. And also we should be building sites to compel a human visitor to take some sort of an action. And so what I always talk about in the mastermind now, and I teach, is that Google for local SEO, all we need to optimize for Google now are the main optimization elements of the page: URL, titles, headings, subheadings, and internal links. That's it. There's five main optimization elements of any page. URL, that's the starting point. That's how Google found the page to begin with. That's always the first touch point, is the URL. Then there's the titles, which includes the SEO title and the page or post title, which is the H1. So the SEO title and the H1 are titles. Then we have headings, which are H2s. And we have subheadings, which are H3s, 4s, 5s, etc. And then we have internal links. If we optimize those elements of a page, that's all we need to do for Google as it relates to local. Then the copy between those headings, subheadings, etc., the text should be optimized to convert the visitor, the human, into whatever conversion goal it is that you want them to take, right? So we should be focusing on conversion rate optimization for the copy between the headings, and the headings and subheadings, etc., should be optimized for search. And if we do that, now it's the most efficient way to build local sites right now, because now we're optimizing the pages for search, optimizing the copy for conversions, and we have significantly less pages than we would have 3 or 4 years ago, when we would have done keyword plus city for every keyword plus every city. Now we need one page for every service or product and one page for every location, and we associate them through internal linking. Within the service pages, you're going to have an element block that lists and links to every one of the locations in which that service is available. So all the pages on the site that you have, one for each location, you're going to have a block within the main content body of the service page or product page, whatever, that's going to have an H2 statement, is what I recommend, an H2 heading that introduces that element block that says this product or service is available in these service areas or these locations, right? And then you have what I like to do is use H3 links. So the anchor text is an H3 tag, which means it's weighted more significantly, weighted heavier by Google than just a regular contextual link. And remember, guys, headings are H2s, subheadings are H3s, 4s, and 5s. Well, if you understand how the proper use of headings and subheadings are, headings should support the title, right? Subheadings should support their respective headings. So H3s that are now referencing the locations in which that service is available with an H2 statement that says this product or service is available in the following areas or locations. Then you have H3s that they're going to link to those specific location pages, right? Then on the location location pages, you're going to have an H2 statement that says these are the services available in this city, whatever that city term is. And then there's going to be H3s that are going to list and link to the service pages. So it is a reciprocal link. From every service page links to every single location page that is available in that service is available to. Then on every location page, you have the internal link block that links to all of the services that are available in at that location or in that area. Does that make sense? So through internal linking, you've reduced all that redundancy and duplication and the need for us to do all the spammy shit that we've done as local SEOs, which is where we would repeat the same damn thing over and over and over again and have dozens and dozens of pages saying the same fucking thing. I hated doing that, but we all did that as part of local SEO because that's what we had to do previously. Now we don't have to do that anymore, guys. If you guys think Google's large language model isn't smart enough to be able to determine what a site is about through internal links, and that you still have to have keyword plus city for every keyword plus every city on the site, then you are seriously underestimating what the large language models do. Okay. And that's why I'm saying, guys, it's a completely different algorithm now. The way that we should optimize for local search, I can't speak on any other type of optimization methods. When it comes to local SEO, especially service area businesses, I'm telling you, this is by far the most efficient way to build sites. You will have less content, less pages, less link building targets. It reduces your overhead for achieving results because you will have less link building targets. It's just way more efficient. Google rewards it because it's a more efficient site. So again, there is no real perfect layout. except for this, what I talk about page structure and site structure and internal linking. And page structure helps you determine your overall site structure and your internal linking scheme. So that's why in my audits, I always start with on-page optimization analysis for the self-hosted site. It always starts with page structure analysis first, because through optimizing individual pages for the products and or products or services and or locations on the site, that's going to help determine what the overall site architecture should be and the internal linking scheme. So that's why when I talk about optimizing for local, there's three main points that we should be optimizing for the self-hosted site for local search is page structure, site structure, and internal linking. But site structure and internal linking, I think, are basically parallels as priority number two. Like, in other words, page structure is number one because that's what Google ranks for search queries, guys. Google doesn't rank websites for search queries. It ranks web pages. But the helpful content update means that the overall quality score of the site has a significant influence on a page's ability to rank. So we start with page structure and optimizing at the page level first, but then through that, we determine the site structure and the internal linking, which are equally as important, in my opinion, as item number two. Okay, and that all of that will help to build more efficient sites with less redundancy, less duplication, less crawl resistance, so less crawl errors. And Cecilia, in my, a lot of you guys know who Cecilia Hannaf is, but she was the one that mentioned crawl resistance, and I love that term because that's another thing. Like, scan your sites with a website crawler, like Web Auditor, Sitebulb, SERPstat. Like, you can go to AppSumo and find web crawlers right now, website crawlers and all of that, and crawl the site and look for technical SEO errors, redirects, 404s, broken links, things like that. Those are all points of crawl resistance. Every one of those is a demerit point that adds to lowering the helpful content update, basically site quality score. And so technical SEO has had kind of a resurgence in local SEO is something that I think is critically important. Proper use of HTML markup within pages. Instead of using HTML markup for styling elements, use HTML markup. So headings, tags, headings, right? Proper use of headings and subheadings. Instead of using them to style text within the page, use it specifically to convey to Google what the page is about. So all of those things are about how to optimize for local search, okay? And I 100% agree with you, John. I didn't for years. I mean, I know a lot of SEOs that would do what you're talking about here, which is they would create, service plus city pages and it would be the same content on every page. The only thing that would change out was the location modifier. I never did that. Even when I did service times city for every service times every city, which I did for many years too, because that's what we all had to do, I would still vary the content on every page. No kidding. Because I always thought that was going to get smacked down. And it really didn't for a very, very long time. But right now, doing anything like that at all is just, it's not a good way to build a site because it's not very efficient. And it's clear when testing that the sites now with kind of associating through internal links is a much more efficient way to build because you need less content, less pages. It creates less link building targets, which means the links that you do build to the site are going to be more effective because they're not being, spread too thin. Like, the link equity is not being diluted too much across too many inner pages. That's clear. All right. Huzaifa, good question, by the way, John. I appreciate that one. Huzaifa says, what are two assets? Can you give potential examples of assets that can be tier two? Well, I don't know of a tier two asset. There's tier two links, not tier two assets. Maybe there is something that could be considered a tier two asset, but I don't build tier two assets. I'm not even sure what that would be. There's tier two links, right? A branded asset is a tier one link. That's it. I mean, now not all tier one links are branded assets, though. You understand? Like, if you buy a guest post anywhere, okay, that's a tier one link. That is not a branded asset. That's a tier one link. But if you build a branded asset, which means you go create a profile somewhere that then you have some editorial control over, you can add your company name, logo, put company description, link to other branded assets, et cetera, all that kind of stuff. Now that's a branded asset because it might be on somebody else's platform, but you have a branded profile or a branded page on that platform, whatever it may be. That's a branded asset, which is a tier one link. Do you understand? If it contains a link, it's a tier one link. Most branded assets that you're going to build will have a link. So that's a tier one link. Now, so remember, all branded assets as long as it contains a link, is a tier 1 link. So I don't know how you even would do a tier 2 asset, because a tier 2 asset would be linking to a tier 1, which means it wouldn't be. I mean, I guess you could still brand something on like another platform and then link to a tier 1 asset, but why? Why would you do that? So anyway, I'm just trying to clarify, Uzaifa. I don't build tier 2 assets at all. I don't even, again, I'm not even sure really how that would work. We do tier 1 asset, branded assets, and also tier 1 links, and then we build tier 2 links to all tier 1 links, whether it's a branded asset or just a tier 1 link. Does that make sense? So tier 2 links are links that are being built to your tier 1 links, which can be any sort of link or a branded asset. Hopefully that's clear. Huzaifa says, how to stop SERP watching. It's like going to a doctor and saying, Doc, it hurts when I do this. And the doc says, don't do that. So that's how you stop it. You just don't do it. You know what I mean? Stop SERP watching. It'll drive you nuts. Don't SERP watch. Like, go in and check them once a week. Don't watch them daily. It'll drive you nuts, guys. Don't do it. Stop. If you got clients that SERP watch, they'll drive you nuts too, by the way, because every single time they see any fluctuation, which happens all the time, like daily, if you run the same search over and over and over again throughout the day, you'll see significant fluctuations often, not always, but often. Okay. So if clients SERP watch, I'm sure you're aware, they're the ones that bug the shit out of you, because every time they see some sort of negative movement, they're calling you or emailing you, right? So don't SERP watch. How do you stop? Just stop. I don't know what else to tell you, man. Okay, just don't do it. Okay. Next, on Web 2 assets, should we make a page or a blog post to target for link building, or should we target the homepage, which is the Web 2 subdomain? You can do both. You know, most SEOs aren't going to go in and do anything with the Web 2s. So we build the branded assets, and then we add the branded asset profiles to the ID page, right? And then we build links to them. We also build links directly to the branded assets, but as part of the ID page, that's how we can power up multiple branded assets and external page URLs, all from one centralized link, one centralized location. So the ID page becomes a significant link building target because we can build links to that one target URL, which then will distribute to all of the target URL or the page URLs that are referenced within the ID page through the G Sheet, a direct embed, or direct hyperlink. You understand? And so that includes Web 2 app profiles, the homepage. For my white label SEO services, not the link building services, but my Google Business white label SEO services, we do authority content because we don't ask for access to the client's website, nor will we even accept access if they want to give it to us. We don't publish or post on the client's websites for my white label SEO, Google Business SEO services. What we do is we build branded assets, tier 1 branded assets for the client, and then we start publishing authority content, long form content, really well developed content articles on their branded assets, starting with the Google site, sites.google.com. And so we do all of our blogging for our white label Google Business SEO clients on external branded blogs instead of direct on their money site. And now we have blog post URLs from long form authority articles on the Web 2.0 assets such as Google Sites, Blog, or Weebly, WordPress, Tumblr, etc. That now we can build direct links not just to the profile URL, which if it's a blog, that post that we publish, the authority posts are going to be on the part of the homepage anyway. So they're going to benefit from homepage links. But now we have 2 link building targets, right? If we only have, let's say we have a Google site. Well, first of all, we do 2 things with the Google sites for our white label clients. First, we do what we call site mirroring method or content mirroring method, where we mirror the main self-hosted site website structure. We mirror that into the Google site, the branded Google site. So we build the same 1-to-1 page ratio for the top level product and service pages and location pages that are served from that Google Business Profile location. We mirror those page structures pages into the G site. Okay, so that we have a 1-to-1 ratio of pages on the G site to pages on the money site. Okay, and then we start publishing content, and the Google site is one of the primary assets that we publish long form content onto. So now we'll have they're not really post URLs in Google sites. It's still a page URL, but it's a post. So we have the page URL from the Google site that is the post. That becomes now another link building target. You understand? And so Yeah, again, you should do both, right? Powering up the homepage is going to push link equity and relevance to the posts that are blog rolled on that homepage. But then you can also have separate posts or page URLs on the web twos that you can build additional links to as well. So you can be more granular with that. Imagine like in the tree service industry, right? Let's say we did a whole entire post on a Google site about tree trimming and tree pruning, all of that kind of stuff, right? Then we could now we have a if we're linking to the homepage of the G site, we could be linking for tree service, tree removal, tree trimming, tree pruning, stump grinding, stump removal, arborist consulting, any one of those things, because the overall site and brand, and those are all services that they offer. But if we're going to build links to a tree trimming post or a post about tree trimming on the Google site that has an internal link pointing to the tree trimming page, service page, then now we can hit that one post or page URL on the Google site with backlinks that are targeting tree trimming type keywords. You understand? So that's why I'm saying you want to do both, because you can build links overall to the profile homepage URL, which you can be more general in all of the product and service offerings that that company provides. Then on individual page or post URLs, you can be more specific, right? So it makes sense to do both. All right, moving on. Should we use the original URL of our site for backlinks or mix it up by including and excluding HTTP, the S, and the www versions? I don't do that, not at all. If I was doing a lot of mass link building, then maybe, like, like I did many years ago with tools and stuff like that, then perhaps. But no, I don't do that because there's a slight loss of link equity between redirects. So when you have an HTTP version of the URL for the backlink, but it's actually HTTPS, then there's a redirect that occurs there. So there's a slight loss of link equity from that redirect. So why do that? And honestly, again, if people are like a layperson, right? So not a non-SEO, a civilian, so to speak, if they were to link to somebody's website, what are they going to do? They're going to go visit the page URL that they're going to link to and copy it out of the address bar, right? They're not going to go change the format of the URL. So I don't bother with it. I mean, you can play with it if you want, but there's no reason to do it, in my opinion, unless you're doing mass link building, which I don't recommend at all ever. Okay, not anymore. I used to a lot, but not anymore. Okay. Seb says, I've been a member of the Semantic Mastery Mastermind in the past about a year ago. What is new since then, and what new things can I learn inside now? Well, Seb, we have the DHA program now, which is fully developed. Phase one, phase two is in development now, which we're going to launch in January. When we launch phase one again for group three, we're going to launch phase two, which is the sales and fulfillment side of the DHA program. So the first phase is all about building the prospecting and marketing machine. So the cold emailing app, setting up the CRM, starting to get leads coming into the agency. Phase two is going to be sales and fulfillment. Phase three will be about scaling and building an organizational structure. But that won't be until probably mid-year next year that'll be ready. So the DHA program is what I've spent most of my time developing for the last year and a half, really, for Mastermind, and then also all the stuff that's included in the DHA program as part of it, Seb, which would be things like local lead generation sites. We're going to be the local lead generation sites is like what I was answering John's question earlier, and that's exactly what I developed to address what John was asking about earlier, which is what is the best way to set up local SEO type sites for local businesses now. Websites for local businesses now, especially service area businesses. That's what I specialize in. And that's what I've spent, about 2 years now really developing and testing. And I've showed this a bunch, but like my Felling Pro sites, these are the kind of structures that I'm talking about. That we have LLG sites, or what I call LLG sites, which are local lead generation sites. These are all built on high level, but this is the structure. This is what I'm talking about. We also have, so let me just show you, if we go into the Circle community, Semantic, give me 1 second while I get into Circle. Right there. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is if we go into our SOP section here, we've got SOPs for building local lead generation sites with this sort of a structure, which is what I was telling John. I should have just showed it earlier. But what I'm showing here, guys, is the homepage for this site is optimized for tree service and the county. In this case, it's Essex County, Massachusetts or whatever. Yeah, I think so. Essex County, Massachusetts. So the homepage is optimized for tree service and the county. Then we have the individual services, tree removal, tree trimming, tree care, stump removal, which are the main services that most tree care companies provide. So we have one separate page for each service, right? Then we have one page for each location within the service area. And all of these locations are within Essex County, Massachusetts. So this right here is the best performing local site structure for service area type businesses. And that is where the home page is optimized for a county and the supporting location pages are all locations within that county. I've got a couple of other tests out there that are like one is this one actually. This one here is testing a regional level on the homepage as opposed to a county. This one's talking about Roanoke Valley, Virginia, which is a region, not a county. It's got more than one county part of that region. These are all locations that are not in the same county, but they all are part of that region. Do you understand? And this is what I'm saying, guys. These sites are the essential pages are the homepage, 4 service pages, so that's 5, and then 5 location pages, supporting location pages. Omit the contact and about and privacy and all that kind of stuff. There are 10 pages on this site. That's it. Under the older local SEO kind of tactics or methods, there would have been, if there were 4 services, well, plus tree service, which is what the homepage is optimized for, that would have been 5 services plus 5 locations, plus the region on this would have been, so 6 locations really. We would have had 5 times 6, 30 pages, right? Instead, I've got 10 pages because the 10 pages accomplish the same thing that those 30 would have done in a much more efficient way for Google, but also for us as SEOs that have to build and develop the sites and generate the content and everything else. Would you rather build 30 pages or 10, right? Would you rather have 30 link building targets or 10? If you're going to be spending money on links every month, right? So this is what I was talking about. Look at these service pages. The service pages are thoroughly optimized for that specific service. And then what are we doing? We're referencing through internal links the locations in which this service is available. Look at the HTML structure of the page. Well, but you got 2 H1s. That's terrible structure. No, there's 2 H1s because high-level sites have a desktop version and a mobile version. It is not a responsive web design. So there's an H1 for the desktop and an H1 for the mobile. That's what this is showing. But there is perfect HTML markup or HTML hierarchy for the headings and subheadings on this page. Because, for example, right here, this is saying this is reinforcing the broadest location region in which all of these service areas are located within. All of these locations are in this region or county. In this case, it would be a county, right? Scroll down here. What do we see? Essex County service area. These are 5 locations, towns, cities, census designated places, etc., that are within Essex County. So these by the way, look at the HTML markup. If we look at that service area, look at that. It's an H2 statement with H3 links because these H3s are supporting this H2. And that makes that link heavier weighted than just a traditional contextual link because it's got a heading tag assigned to it, right? And then on the location pages, what do? On the location pages, we have an H2 statement right there that says Arborist Services, right? Boom. And then the H3s that list and link to each of the service pages. So we have one location page and one service page for every service and for every location. And then that's how we end up getting results like this with not nearly as many pages, and you'll have a lot less link building targets. You'll have to develop a lot less content. Everything about it is more efficient. Okay, let me just give you an example because these are my Felling Pro sites. And you can see I got, I don't know, 20 some sites in here. And we got a number of them that are ranking with very, very few backlinks, if any, average of 10 or better. And I was just showing you some examples of that. So like, for example, this one, Albemarle Felling Pro, this is a fairly new site. If we go through this year, you'll see we launched this one about the middle of September. You can see how it's been climbing up. Go check the backlink profile of this. There's very few backlinks built to this site. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Look at these. Sorry, let me get rid of that highlight. Look at those keywords. These are the keywords for service plus city for each service plus every city. I don't have all those pages on the site, though. Do you understand? Like, if you take a look at this, look at the rank tracker report here, right? It's the same page for every one of these that ranks. Do you understand? So if I, like, for example, free union is apparently ranking #1 for just about most of the keywords. So if I show free union here, do you see that every one of those keywords are ranking #1, and it's the same page that is ranking every time? It's that page. It's the location page that we rank for the search query. That's why you don't need to have keyword plus city for every keyword times every city. You don't need to do that. If you optimize the location page properly and internally link the location page to all of the services, then you can rank the one location page for every single search query because of the association that you created from the location to each of those services. So once again, look at this, guys. This is what I'm saying. If we take a look, how do we get that to, I'll see where the button is to fold it back up again. And in any case, there it is. Sorry. Oh, okay. So all of those keywords there are ranking #1. It's this one page every time. You get it? And it's because of the internal linking, the associations, right? So that's why I'm saying this is a much more efficient way to build sites. Okay. So that's why I was bringing that up because it started to show you here in the SOPs we have, sorry, that's here. We have the LLG sites in high level, but then we also have for those people that want to build them in WordPress, which God bless you, because I hate WordPress now. But there's the LLG SOP for how to build these exact same sites with the same template or the same structure essentially in WordPress. Okay. So that's what I've spent most of my time on, is kind of developing the DHA program, which is how to generate more leads and sales for your own agency, how to productize your services so that you can scale your agency very quickly instead of doing custom SEO for every goddamn client, which is, most of you guys that are doing custom SEO are not charging custom SEO prices, and yet you spend all your time developing special campaigns and all that. And that's not an efficient way to grow your agency. So I've been spending all my time really working on DHA stuff for the group because it adds efficiency, scalability. It will reduce your workload. You'll get better results in selling your services because you've dialed in your messaging to speak to that specific audience or business owner, business type, etc. So that's what it is, Seb. It's been a lot of development has occurred into the DHA program over the last year, a lot. So come check it out again, man. You won't be disappointed. Come for a month. If you don't like it, cancel afterwards. No harm, no foul. Won't hurt you to come in for a month and get all the updated SOPs either. So Uzaifa says, can you explain the difference between tiered assets and tiered links? There is no tiered assets. I already covered that. So I already covered that one. I'm going to move on. It's tiered links. It's not tiered assets. Branded assets are tier 1 links where you can add your branding to it, name, address, phone number, website information, etc. Everything else is just a link. It's either a tier 1 link or a tier 2 link. That's it. Moving on. Alex says, I launched 3 brand new LOG. Alex, I saw this question earlier when I was preparing for today's call or Hump the Hangout. If you're one of the Alexes in the mastermind, ping me in the mastermind community in Circle. Okay. And I will take a look at it for you. I will analyze because I'll finish reading the question, but there's definitely something going on here for it to not. If you're saying it's showing as index in Search Console, but if you do a site : domain search, so site : operator domain search for the domain, and it's not showing any results in Google Search Index, there's a problem. There's something wrong, and that's why it's not ranking. So I would look at this if you're in the mastermind. If you're not in the mastermind, then I'm going to recommend to go to Semantic Links, sign up, right? Free. Register for a free account, go into the dashboard, and then order a full SEO audit. If you're in the mastermind, like I said, I'll look at this for you. Just ping me, private message me in the mastermind, or if it's okay to post about it in the kind of more broader group, then just post about it and we'll have a discussion about it. But if you want it handled privately, just reach out to me, private message in the mastermind, and I'll take a look at it for you. If you're not in the mastermind, then again, go check out. Let me pause the screen and I'll put the link in chat. But that would be go get a competitive link a full SEO audit order, and then I will audit the entire project, including all components of it, starting with the entity, and then on-page optimization for the self-hosted site, then on-page optimization for the GBP, and then I'll also look at the backlink profile and determine and compare that against the top-ranked competitors for the specific search queries that you want, whatever site it is that you want to rank for. And then I'll be able to determine from that and provide recommendations on, we'll likely find what the problem is and be able to provide you with the appropriate correction or instructions on how to correct it. And then not only will I give you those instructions, but I will very thoroughly explain exactly how I came to that conclusion. Because my goal with the audits is to teach you how to do it, not to just tell you what to do. Honest to God, guys, the whole purpose of the audits is so that you'll get better results, but so that I can teach you what it is that I'm telling you to do and why, so that you understand it and it's logical and you feel confident in executing those or making those changes because it's reasonable and logical. And then you'll be able to apply that to other subsequent projects. So I'm going to put this right here just so people can see it, and I'll put it in chat. This is the audit service. It's $179. I promise you it's worth every penny because I'm very, very thorough. Go check Semantic Links Culpeper. If you just go search for Semantic Links Culpeper and read these reviews right there. Almost every one of these reviews, you'll see, I'm sure you guys will recognize some of the names in here. Almost every one of these reviews are reviews about my audit service. Okay. So I would encourage you to just, go check it out. But I promise you, I can't promise you, but most likely I will be able to find what the problem is and help you address it. Excuse me. Let me get rid of that. Where the hell is the chat box? There it is. So I put that in chat. Moving on. Only got a couple more minutes. When starting link building, should we build links
You're
directly
still sharing the circle screen.
Oh shit, sorry. Well then, damn it. I wasn't showing this then. So here's the audit page. This is what shows the full SEO audit. It's $179, and there's the 19
Maybe you
points.
can't see the screen, Bradley.
You still can't see the screen. How about now? Can you see it now?
So it looks good.
Okay. All right. So now we can see it. So this is what I was saying. $179 for the audit. There's 19 points across 4 areas, the ones that I've described a couple of times today. All right. It's very, very thorough. And then I record a training video afterwards that goes through each of those 19 points where I fully explain each one of them, what we're looking at and why. Okay. So if you can't learn from this, then there's no helping you. And I'm not saying that to pick on you, Alex. I'm telling you, inviting you to send me the details and circle if you're in the mastermind. If you're not, that's the best way to get my support. Okay. Okay. So Huzaifa says, with starting link building, should we build links directly to tier 0 assets and then move on to tiered link building, or should we start tiered link building from the get-go? I start right off the bat, but we do both. We build links directly to the money site and the ID page and Google Map embed typically. And then we also build links to the branded assets and tier 1 links. As we start building tier 1 links, then those tier 1 links get moved to the tier 2 link sheet. So as target URLs to build tier 2 links to. So we do both simultaneously at the same time. But yes, you can build links directly to the money site to start with. Just make sure they're proper links. That's all. That's all. Just make sure they're proper links. Don't use shitty links. Should the brand name for the LOP, or the location landing page, or even a location without a GBP have the city modifier appended to it? If so, would the brand anchor text for that location be the same as the target anchor? Well, it depends. It depends on what the brand name is of the company is. If it's an exact match keyword, then yeah, then that would be a target anchor. Look at my sites, the way that I call them, right? Felling Pro, felling, the entity, is tree removal as it relates to deforestation and logging. So felling is it's similar to tree removal. Pro, so felling pro means tree removal pro. What we do is for most of these projects, we have the county name, because remember I talked about the county. We optimize the homepage for the county, right? Albemarle County, Virginia in this case. And then these are all locations within that county, right? So I've named mine for County Felling Pro. Felling Pro is the official brand. But then for every location, we prepend, not append, but prepend the county name, or in this case, for Roanoke Felling Pro, Roanoke Valley is the name of the region. So we just used Roanoke Felling Pro for that. We could have done Roanoke Valley Felling Pro, but I just did Roanoke Felling Pro. So it's not, this wouldn't be if we are going to build links to this with Roanoke Felling Pro as the brand, that would be the brand anchor, right? Not really a target anchor. If I had tree removal Roanoke VA, that would be a target anchor. Does that make sense? because that's brand plus location modifier. Okay. All right. JM says, can we use multiple ID pages as citations? No. You can use multiple cloud pages as citations, but you should only have one ID page per Google business profile. There's only one ad ID designation in the local business schema, right? How can you have multiple ID pages? You can only have one ID page. You can have as many cloud pages as you want. Yes, you can use cloud pages as citations, but there's only one. An ID page is a cloud page, but it's a dedicated cloud page that is referenced in the ad ID field of the local business schema. That's what makes it an ID page. It is a cloud page, right? So cloud pages can be used as citations, yes, but you should only ever have one ID page per Google business profile. Okay. All right, moving on. I'm just going to look at comments. I said I was going to be done at 5 and it's 5:01. I'm just going to check comments and then I'm done. So moving on. Dog. Jason says, dog, that was gold. I do remember you, Jason. Absolutely. What's up, man? Which yext plan is that? Jason says. The yext power listings plan, the whatever, if you go look at the power listings page, you'll see that they have two versions. I think it's 500 per year and 1,000 per year, but the 1,000 per year just gives you the ability, it does review monitoring and gives you the ability to respond to reviews on all those platforms from within the yext dashboard and all that. I don't use that at all. All I use is the regular power listings without the review component, and that's the $500 a month plan. But like I said, through SEMrush, it's $20 per month per location with no contract. That's what we resell under Semantic Links for $34 per month. So, and by the way, it's the same type of service that if you're in high level and you buy the yext power listing service through high level, it's $30 a month. It's the same thing, right? Moving on. Let's see. How to build brand authority for locations without GBP. Branded assets. You can still have branded assets without a GBP, man. You still build branded assets, cloud pages, links, all of that. You still do all of that for non-GBP websites, for local anyways. You can still build branded assets. You just don't have a name, address, phone number in a Google map listing. You don't have an address in a Google map listing, right? You should still have a website and a phone number. You just don't have an address in a maps listing. That's all. All right. Kenny Roberts says, thanks for explaining my question last week. You're welcome. David says, niche blogs could be considered a tier 2 asset, though you don't brand past the first tier. Yeah, well, that's what I mean, David. So yeah, you just reinforced what I was stating. You can have tier 2 links, but they're not branded, right? You can mention the brand in the post, but it's not on a branded profile. If it was a branded profile, it would likely be a tier 1 profile, right? The felling sites, those are LLG sites. What you was going on in that person for 99 sites. Yes, $99. That's what I rent those types out. Or I use them as sales tools so that I can just sell a tree contractor on my traditional retainer-based services where I'm going to be building their brand for them. But I use those LLG sites as a sales tool in that presentation, my pitch to sell my SEO services, because I have ranking site in their area. Typically, the LLG sites are outranking the prospect site that I'm talking to. So I can say that to them on the call. Like, this site is already outranking you for your own products and services in your own area. I can do this for you as well. If you join up with me or sign up within the next 2 days or 3 days or whatever it is, I will assign this website to you exclusively so that all leads that come in through this will go to you and you only. That's still it's an indirect monetization method for that LLG site. Or I'll rent it out for $99 a month, or I'll sell on a pay-per-lead basis. It depends on how the conversation call goes. The conversation goes, right? During the sales conversation that I have with the tree contractor, I can determine what is the best way to monetize this asset. Should I rent it to them? Should I sell them leads? Or should I use it as an incentive for them to sign up with my traditional retainer-based SEO services for their brand, right? In any case, I end up making money from that site, either directly or indirectly, right? And by the way, the whole time that they're paying me, I'm going to be taking a portion of their budget and building links to my site that is exclusively assigned to them while they're a client. But the moment they cancel, guess what? I keep the site and all of the benefit from the portion of the budget that I took from them to build links to my site that benefits them while they're my client. But when they leave, I can retain benefit from part of their budget even after they're gone, right? Because I used a portion of their budget to build up my assets, right? That's part of the directory hybrid agency program. Could be, let's see. my thing with high level sites that they go down because everyone uses it now. And can you explain why you are using them? I use them because it doesn't have WordPress updates. They don't get hacked. They're significantly better than they were 6 months ago. They load faster now. I've rarely have trouble with high level sites. WordPress sites are a pain in the ass. Okay, guys, we're done. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate everybody sticking around. I spent 5 minutes longer than I said I would. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Enjoy your holiday. Be safe. Thanks,
Cheers,
Chris, for
happy
hanging out.
Thanksgiving.